The first thing that comes to mind for me that I've given up really entirely is the drama of the news. So I do not watch any news first thing in the morning. I don't read newspapers. I really do not just let news infiltrate my life.
What I'm letting go of is the belief that I'm supposed to be someone and something other than myself in order to be enough and in order to still be perceived as valuable and worthwhile. Hey, everybody, it's Bianca.
And it's Amelia.
Welcome to another episode of Evolve Ventures, where we are helping growth minded humans evolve by breaking one limiting belief at a time. We hope you enjoyed the last episode at number 258. Why do I keep boxing up my emotions? For today, number 259, Motivation Monday, how to let go. Now, you probably saw this and you're like, how the hell is an episode on letting go going to motivate me and get me pumped up for my week? Letting go, Amelia and I were talking about this before we dove into the episode. Letting go does not have to be this really painstaking, really emotionally taxing experience. Letting go can be extremely liberating, and letting go can be something that feels very opening and allows you to attract more and better and what is right for you into your life. That is what we're going to be diving into today in this quick 10-minute Motivation Monday. How do you let go? And how do you allow that to be the best experience that it can?
Definitely. So, what I wanted to pull into this episode was essentially something that's called like a give up list. And you might have
Mm.
heard that before, but I'm going to try to weave that in the concept that when we talk about this whole concept of letting go. Well, first of all,
Mm.
who doesn't think of the whole let it go song, you
Your
know?
shirt matches her dress right now
Does
too, like the cut of it.
perfect. Perfect. I'll be on a mountain very shortly singing this song for everybody. No, but I feel like when we talk about this concept of letting it go, like what do you immediately think about? Likely it's like people, right? And outgrowing
Mm.
people or having to let go of what I refer to people on your bench. So, for example, I was on a coaching call the other day and I was talking with a client who's had such incredible progress around the self love and dating arena where she's on her journey to find her life partner.
Mm.
And there's people that are on her bench, right? Those people that you kind of date and kind of text and have that feeling of connectedness with, because let's be real, being a conscious single is hard and it can get lonely sometimes. She is on her way for the whole 2023 of removing the people in her bench. So oftentimes we think about this
Good for
concept
her.
of letting go of those people that really just don't serve you anymore, whether it be the people that you're talking to or whether it be specific friendships that, maybe you were really close with, right? We oftentimes just always go to the people of this
Mhm.
concept. But I want to kind of take a little bit of an approach towards this and use the give up list as an example for how letting go really echo what you said, B. It doesn't have to be really painful. In fact, if we focus our attention more on what we have to gain by
Mm.
letting things go, I know and I've personally experienced and had the complete honor at seeing how much that can actually really charge someone up. So I'll give an example of this. If I were to ask you, what is something that you want to give up for 2024, right? A lot of people have this dialogue when it comes to like Lent and it's like, oh, I'm going to give up potato chips, right? And it lasts a specific amount of days. And then eventually, you're starting to feel the benefits of that or whatever it is. And then
Mm.
eventually, after a specific number of days, you end up eating your potato chips, right? But for that time period, it felt actually really good to let go or to give up those metaphorical potato chips. Why is that? because the concept of letting those potato chips go in that time period meant you were actually choosing a yes, something that was more important to you. It gave and freed up more space in your palette, let's say, on your plate. And this is the metaphor for the plate of life, right? So when you're letting things go, be it people, be it potato chips, be it specific habits, you get to see what actually comes with having more space.
So, giving up my emotional eating of an entire sleeve of double stuffed Oreos, what is that going to bring me? No, I'm totally kidding.
Yeah, for
Well,
sure
I'm not
though.
kidding, but I am kidding. Um, okay, so why don't we dive into things that we've given up in the past and what we're letting go of in 2024 around
Yeah,
this concept?
let's do that. So the first thing that comes to mind for me that I've given up really entirely is the drama of the news. So I do not watch any news first thing in the morning. I don't read newspapers. I really do not just let news infiltrate my life. I have very specific measures to make sure that what I care about and what's connected directly to what I am directly impacting and what has a direct impact on my life that's coming into my consciousness, my awareness on my terms. So giving up
Mhm.
the news, what has that? So in letting go of the needing to be in the know and like what sports are happening or what's going on in the world around me, quite frankly, I've let go the having to be in the know in order to be able to connect with some people on the surface level stuff. So like whoever's playing whatever game out there in the sports world, like I don't really care about that. And what that has given me, and I'm going to continue that in 2024, has been an ever degree of presence with the people that I do care about, with the things that I do really care about. It's literally freed up my consciousness, my space, my attention, my focal point to do the things that I actually care about. So, for example, 30 minutes watching the news, it has now been able to be redirected towards 30 minutes of playing with Tukawaka, Tilly, Tariel, and actually seeing their developmental steps. And you are probably seeing that with Aries right now as you're training him, seeing like the little progressions, right? It's allowed me to be more present with Alan, my partner. It's allowed me to be more conscious of what are the things that Bianca and I are going to talk about and be way more intentional about where my consciousness is quite frankly taking me on my day to day. And that has added so much value and goodness to my life. I can't even begin to explain it. So, B, for you, what's something that you're going to let go of or give up for this example in 2024 or something in 2023 that brought a ton of value to your life because of it?
Something that I am letting go of, actually, something that I did let go of, I'll start there, was the old apartment that I moved into when I had first moved out on my own. It was my first home alone. It was my
Mm.
first, like, little sanctuary for me. I had so much growth and development and a lot of lonely nights in that apartment, and I let that go. This will be almost 2 months ago now, and that allowed me to open myself up to a much better home that is more aligned for me, and allowed me to bring Aries and to get him and to, get to be a dog mommy again. So
Mhm.
that is something that I let go of. Something that I am intending on letting go of in 2024 is the absolutely unrealistic expectations that I had on myself that were making me really, really miserable.
Mm.
I've I'm sure if you're listening to this, you've probably done this too. I think for the last year, I've said at least to Amelia or Alan, like multiple times, that like, I'm not happy. I know something needs to change. I keep trying to be like you guys. I keep trying to be like this. I keep trying to be like that. I need to change. And then I would start, and then I just fell back into the same loop.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that pattern happening time and time and time again, and it it really did me dirty at the end of, I would say, Q4, so the last 4 months of the year, or the last 3 months of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I finally noticed the impact of it. Like, the impact finally hit me, of
Yeah.
me trying to force myself to be somebody that I'm not, because I put this narrative in my head that that's who I'm supposed to be in order to be good enough. And
Yeah.
in 2024, and I've already started doing this, I've already started implementing these changes. Um,
Mm-hmm.
2024 is just going to be actually making sure that I continue to see it through in my behavior. So, what I'm letting go of is the belief that I'm supposed to be someone and something other than myself in order to be enough, and in order to still be perceived as valuable and worthwhile. And what that's going to allow is, honestly, for me to actually be who I am and become the greatest version of that, which I know is only going to allow for so much to come into my life. And who knows, maybe that will allow, to use your example with your client, maybe that'll allow me to attract my dream partner. Who knows? I'm certain it's going to happen for that client because she's doing the same thing. So,
Definitely.
for all of you, in wrapping up this episode, what's one thing you can commit to letting go, or letting go of? It doesn't have to be something crazy. It doesn't have to be something drastic. And it doesn't mean you have to let it go immediately. It's a
Mm-hmm.
process. So, what's something that you can start allowing the process of letting go of? I think I said that correctly.
And to clarify too, the process of letting go, kind of what we spoke about, is number one, what is not serving us was the unconscious process that Bianca and I had like an internal dialogue with ourselves. For me, it was news was not serving myself, and I actually gave that up a long time ago. It's just another iteration of that, because as things evolve, right, you can start to see news filter into the social media outlets, so I've had to kind of clean that up of like what I like, who I'm following and all that stuff, right? So for me, I had to have the conversation, just like Bianca, you had to have the conversation and reflection within yourself. What is not serving you? For you, B, it was that comparison, and it was the belief that you had of the unrealistic expectations of you to be someone else. When in reality, step number two is understanding what is the benefit of me letting whatever this is go. So it's really a cost benefit analysis. What is not serving you, number one? What is going to serve you, number two? And then number three, redirecting your focus time and time again when you tend to maybe slip down that rabbit hole of your old former tendencies of, oh, well, shoot, what if I do, right? That fear that's there because loss is something that unconsciously the brain is so terrified of, and understandably so. But when you find yourself in that moment, kind of checking yourself and being mindful of this whole practice around, well, hey, we're here again. If we do that, then we're going to end up in the same spot. If we don't let this go, we're going to end up in the same spot. So, really refocusing our energies and kind of being mindful when we're back there again and leading ourselves through that. So, for our listeners, for all of you, what are you guys, gals, what are you doing this year in terms of what it is that you need to give up, what it is that you need to refocus on, and what it is that you really feel compelled and pulled to let go? That's what we want you to answer for yourself. Start with step number one, which is reflection. When you have that, feel free to DM us what that is. Tag us on Instagram this episode with what you're letting go. And if you need any help, we are here for you. Bianca, what is your final episode suggestion and takeaway?
I feel good about the takeaway that I gave.
Perfect.
Episode suggestion 235, Motivation Monday, the power of regret.
Hey. My episode suggestion is going to be 251. So, rather recent. It is how to set boundaries, because oftentimes when we're concerned around letting go, we actually need boundaries set for ourselves. And that is a great episode for you to kind of get started in that. So, like I said, reach out to us, send us a DM if you're struggling with this. If you want to be celebrated for you starting this process of letting go, reach out to us. We always have your back here on the growth journey at Evolve. All the love, everyone. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.